I know.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Welcome to another episode of the LegacyKnitz podcast. My name is Chelsea.
My name is Sue.
I am the daughter mother,
I am the mother grandmother.
and this is our first podcast in quite a while, since the new year.
Quite a while. And where are you?
I forgot. I am coming to you from Vermont,
And I'm coming to you from Connecticut.
and that is our entire spiel.
I will be in Vermont again soon. I was just there yesterday.
Yeah, you haven't even been home for 24 hours yet.
I feel like I've been home forever.
I know. Well, you've done so much in the time that you've gotten back.
So we had a little false alarm.
Had a little false alarm on Monday. I was thinking that I was going to have to head into the hospital and deliver this baby, but luckily I did not have to. So she is still in there to cook. She is, just because I know a lot of people like to see bumps. She's very low. She's ready to go. The doctor said she's in good positioning. She's a good size. So now it's just waiting.
Just waiting. It is the logistics of being, I mean, we're so lucky we're only 4 hours.
Right.
And it's a car ride.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still, I thought the anxiety about it was over once I went up and came back, and no, it's still there.
Well, last night as I was having contractions, I was like, what is going on? No one's answering their phone. What are we going to do? I don't want to wake her up and scare her and bring her to the hospital.
I know. That's the piece. If you didn't have Lily, it's a piece of cake.
Oh.
But Lily, even though you've got several plans for her, I was so tired because I was like, first of all, I was so mad that we left. I'm like, shoot, we should have stayed. But then when we were there, it felt like we could be there for another week. And that didn't make sense for either of us.
No, we had things to do. We have lives to get on with. That I'm not due for another 11 days.
I know. But I was like, I should have stayed. And then I was like, all right, maybe I should just get in the car. And then I was like, I am so tired that it's just not safe.
No.
Because I was calculating I would get there at 1:30, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
No.
So anyways, I just tried to do some deep breathing.
That's exactly what I did. Justin was rubbing my back and he was like, just keep breathing, you're fine. And
I know, and I love that he sent me a text.
Yes.
Like, because it was so helpful, because I had already thought, like, no, I'm not going to text anymore because you could fall asleep. But then that last little, like, text from him was like, okay, now I'm going to just let it go.
Yeah. I know. Well, and it's tricky too, because for Lily's birth, I had to be induced. So I don't know how my body naturally goes into labor. So I don't know if all of this pre-labor activity is like, and I know there's no standard time frame for anybody. So it's like, even if I had, I don't know. It's like, how long is my body going to do this?
I know. And honestly, even if you hadn't been induced, you would be just as perplexed right now. Because I did it.
Oh no.
3 times. Why don't I know?
Sorry, you just totally froze and then like caught up a little bit. That's so weird. But yeah, I know every experience is so different. So it probably would be exactly the same, but.
The cuckoo clock was going.
Oh, I could not hear it.
I was like, why is she not joining me? I know, but how amazing was it that it worked out that we were able to be there on Lily's birthday?
I know, my false alarm fell right.
It was perfect because it was like our opportunity, because we weren't last year because we come up on Christmas and that's so soon afterwards, and it was perfect.
And everything ended up working out good. It was a good trial run.
It was.
But anyway.
Yes. So here we are. I am in my work clothes because literally I'm going to be jumping up and down, switching yarn out.
Mm-hmm.
And my office looks like a bomb exploded because we're about to release a new line and it's everywhere. And but it feels so good. I had just said to you, it feels so good to be home because I had left like 60 skeins just soaking. Mm-hmm. And it feels good to wrap that up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All good things. Yeah.
Is it freezing there?
I actually don't know. I mean, it felt cold when I went outside a little while ago. to like empty the recycling, but I don't know temperature wise. I haven't checked that today.
We're going through very freezing, although I have my window open because I have all the burners going in this tiny space with the door closed. So I have a window open to my left. But
yeah, that room can get really stuffy and humid when you're dyeing, I feel like.
Yeah, and I don't like to be closed in with fumes. Like I try to keep it aired out. It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah, that part is definitely tricky.
So yeah, so
yes, this is our first podcast back since the new year. We thought we were going to be able to sneak one in before what? When was the last time we did one? Thanksgiving?
During Christmas break, we thought we might.
Yeah, and we never ended up.
Christmas was 100 years ago.
I know.
No, it wasn't. Did we do it on Thanksgiving when you were home? That was when you were home.
Yeah.
So we didn't get a Christmas one in because we ended up we were up there. I forgot.
Yeah, it was just didn't fit it in. So yes, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah to everybody. We were thinking of you all during the holidays. We loved seeing all of your shared posts with our 25 skeins of Christmas and 8 skeins of Hanukkah. It was so cool to see everybody opening them and sharing them, and I did my best to try and repost some of them, but
and watching people, like, especially using them as the fade effect, you know, the advents, how we created it into a fade, and I was so thrilled with seeing those and how well they faded, because you worry when you put it out there that that's what it is, and then because it's a whole different form of dyeing advents. So it's like, oh, I hope it's successful. And I was so pleased with that.
Yes, we got so much nice feedback, and the projects that are going on, even still right now with the advents. I know Sandy's making a snuggle down cowl by So Sweet Violet, which is beautiful, and it makes me want to cast one on.
I know.
Oh no, you froze again.
I froze again.
Yeah. Oh, what did you just say?
I am at the point where I want to do a lot of new cast-ons because I really do not have a lot going on my needles right now. I had such a strong desire to get everything off. So this is my last pair of socks to get off the needles. And then I have so many, and there's more. This is just at my fingertips.
Oh my God.
I think I have 8 more in here. And then I did cast on a new pair. I might have to switch the yarn around.
That's fine.
Keep chatting.
Which new pair did you cast on?
You know.
Oh, I forgot.
I love them so much. Hold on, you keep talking.
12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 30, 32. I just started my heel flap. I've been vanilla sock crazy lately, and I've started using 9-inch circulars to knit my socks, except for the heel flap and gusset. So I do the heel flap on just 2 DPNs, and then I do a few rounds of the gusset on DPNs as well, and then I switch back over to 9-inchers. But knitting the body of the sock with 9-inchers is so magical. I don't get any of the pinching because I tend to tighten the stitch between needles to make sure there's no laddering, but it has the opposite effect where it's like pinched in 4 different places. But with 9-inchers, it's just beautiful and seamless, and my hands have gotten used to it. And
I think what I'm working on 9-inchers.
And those, the ones that you just showed?
Yeah, and then I went to double points after I dropped the heel.
So now you'll finish out the foot.
Yes, out of sheer sorry, I'm back. Out of sheer laziness of not wanting to put in stitch markers for the toe. I was just lazy.
I get that. I find that I can knit so much faster with a 9-incher when I go around and around now.
I did really, really enjoy it. I did.
Yeah.
Look how far you got on those.
I know. It's so great because I'm knitting nonstop because it's helping me with my anxiety and the waiting. But I keep prepping myself to have great hospital knitting, and then I just knit through the socks.
Just cast on a bunch.
I did.
I know, you did.
I've had 2 pairs going at a time for the last week, and I've finished a pair, and I'm about to finish a second pair. I need more self-striping yarn.
I know. You're right. You're right. I do the same thing, like getting ready for things.
Yeah.
And then it's like, shoot, I'm right back there again.
Right. Like
I can't believe how little I brought up with me.
Well, but you have been so obsessed with your crochet blanket.
Okay, let's talk about the crochet blanket.
Let's talk about it.
Hold on, getting to the end. I'm going to finish it probably the next time I come up.
I believe it.
Although I might work on it today if we end up not coming up. I feel like we could be coming up today.
You think so? If we haven't mentioned this, I have my 38-week appointment today at 4 o'clock. So I'm going to have them check me out and see what they think, just because I've been having contractions for a while now. Although they slowed down, my body is still like, it goes 100 miles an hour or it just completely stops.
Yeah, I don't think that's not normal.
No, I'm sure it's just all pre-labor stuff, but.
It is. Okay, so you guys. I can't even show you. It's, okay, so it's up to here on me.
It's resting on the ground right now, right?
Yeah, it's on the ground. So I love it, and I'm loving doing the magic knot because I have no ends. Literally, I'm going to weave in the beginning and end tail, and it's going in my new, well, it's not my new room, but my room is getting better and better and better.
I was going to say, you're like re-energized room.
And I have to go get something from that room.
Oh my gosh.
This will be the last interruption.
That's fine. I shared on Instagram. You can go ahead. I'm just going to chat with them. I shared on my stories mom's Instagram profile because she has got the most inspiring Instagram feed, and she's redoing her crafting room. And it's so cool. So we've both been very into like art journaling and planner keeping and all of that good stuff. And she just recently completely not gutted, but like took everything out of this beautiful roll. Is it called a rolling desk, Mom?
It's a roll top desk.
A roll top desk.
And I will share the story of it because a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, that desk is so beautiful. Yeah. So we were talking about this weekend. It was, my grandfather was a big banker in our little tiny town, and it was his desk there.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Interrupt. It makes me think of It's a Wonderful Life when you say that.
Me too, because that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
Because there was like a half a rail, like a half rail that you had. And again, we were talking about this. I feel like I have this down again. This could be a memory I've totally made up in my mind, but I don't think so. You went through the half rail to where all the bigwigs were, which was like, here was the tellers, here was the bigwigs with a half a rail. So, which is so not like it is today. And so we had this beautiful desk back there, and then he passed away, and it went on to this big doctor in town who happened to be a woman, which I found really amazing. And that, I don't know, it was just super cool. And everyone and their brother went to, there was like 2 or 3 doctors in town. She was one of the most prominent. I went there for years. The more I think about it, I think I remember this desk at her office. Again, totally made up memory, probably.
Doesn't matter.
But it ended up that somebody ended up painting it black. And I can't remember any of it, but that everyone in the family was offered it. No one wanted it. Dad and I wanted it. We had it stripped down. It cost a lot. Well, at the time, because we were so poor, we just threw it in a basement and said, someday we'll have it stripped down and back to its original beautiful oak. And we did. And it was in one of our houses forever. And I loved it, in our Union Street house.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It just fit the room.
Where was it?
It was in the living room, the center.
Yes, right when you got down the stairs.
Yes. And Dad used it, and we loved it. And then we moved to here, and it was like it just drove me crazy. It's just this huge honking thing that no one was using. It was just a blob piece of material, like furniture. it was in my space, and I was like, ah. And it was like the day after New Year's, it hit me like a ton of bricks because I haven't been able to do journaling or plannering because I just don't have a space that works well for it. Mm-hmm. Mind you, we have plenty of space in this house. It's just, there wasn't a space that just made me want to be there, or like I couldn't do a table because we use our dining room and kitchen tables. Mm-hmm. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, oh my gosh, like put that roll top up. It is the most stunning piece of furniture ever.
It is jaw-dropping. And even just like, I'm sure you could get a new roll top desk today, but knowing the journey that it took and all of like the different hands that touched it and all of the different people that sat at it and worked at it, like that to me is so freaking cool.
That to me is, and that like I kind of wanted to share that story, but like, you know, the less is more for me, and I don't like to do really long written posts, but that to me is what makes it so special. Like you said, I could go buy a roll top and it would be beautiful, but this looks old. I mean, it's literally the roll top is broken because the piece of linen behind it has dried out. It can be fixed, and we will get it fixed. Mm-hmm. Which I don't care because I want it open. Like it's beautiful open.
Right.
So yeah, that's a long story about like, oh my gosh, I love it.
It is so beautiful. And my thought around it was always, oh, that's just where Dad stores things. Like it was almost like a filing cabinet of sorts. So like I never even thought it was up for grabs to be a creative space. So when you did that, I was like, oh my God.
Honestly though, it proves such a point to me is everything we need is literally right under our nose. Everything we need. Like I could not buy another thing and just use what we have that's either put away and find creative uses for it.
Totally.
It made me so happy. I do need to go buy a lamp of some sort. It's a very dark space.
I was thinking that.
And for now, I use my lamp. I just drag it around the house. I drag everything around the house.
I feel like we do the same thing. I'm like, whatever, I have one over there, I'll just move it. So on the topic of desk spaces, and I'm going to link this video down below. Oh no. Can you see me and hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, it says my internet connection is unstable.
Oh, mine is terrific because.
I know. That's why you keep freezing. And I'm like, why are you freezing? It doesn't make any sense. You haven't recently, but like in the last couple of.
Okay, because we do have a new internet connection, but I believe it goes the computer is automatically. I didn't have to change anything.
So maybe it's my computer that's freezing you. It doesn't matter. It's not a big thing. Like it won't be a big. But anyway, I was watching the Jordan Clark, so the journaler that I showed you on YouTube. She's amazing. I'll link her YouTube channel down below. I was watching one of her, it was her studio vlog after she had set it up. I think it was a couple years ago. But so what she did, she's so good about sharing information. She shared where she got all of the furniture, how much it cost, all of that stuff. And she got her entire desk set up, which it's a little bit different now because it's been a couple of years since that video was posted. Her entire desk and office area set up for under $150. That's 2 desk tops, a lamp, a rolling rack, a set of drawers, a chair for like a lot of it was IKEA.
Yeah. It's all about being creative though with what you have. Like for me, it's like if you have a good base, then you just add to it.
Right.
And like for you, you could almost get another desk and put it right by your desk.
Well, that was kind of an inspiration. The only thing is I don't want to take up too much of Lily's play space.
I think it would take up a lot more.
Well, I think I'd want it in an L shape.
I was just going to say you need to put it in an L shape.
But I feel like it would protrude too much into the room, even if it was tiny.
Oh, I was thinking L, maybe changing the wall location of where you're.
So that I would be, like, I could even tuck it over there, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how I feel about not getting any natural light.
I was going to say the same thing. I'd be more tempted to put it towards your windows. So, because That's what I would love. Like in here, I get all the light.
Yeah.
And I love it. And in there, I'm fighting for light.
That's the trickiest part, but I also don't want to take any of the windows away from Lily because she does love looking out them.
I agree.
But anyway, this is totally a tangent, but yeah, I have definitely like watching her videos, and especially that one, I was like, oh my God, there are so many cool things you can do. But
I think of all the cool things that I buy with good intention of using them for something, and then I don't, and then I forget I have them.
Right. So it's almost like digging those things out like a little at a time and starting to apply them places.
That's kind of what I'm trying to do.
I love it.
I know. And it feels good because I didn't have to spend a dime for that beautiful space.
Gorgeous space. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. I love it.
I love it. I love it.
I don't even know how we got on this topic because we were talking Granny Square.
I don't know.
Oh, actually I do know, because you said you're just going to weave in the two ends and it's going to live in your new, and I said like your renovated kind of.
Yes. My beautiful new room. It's not a new room. I've just found like at night, I enjoy being in there now. The problem is it's very dark.
You need that lamp.
I know but I think it's going to be tricky to find a lamp. I want to find something that like goes over.
I'd look at IKEA, because that lamp that she has is.
Oh, I didn't see.
It's like black. Oh,
that.
Yeah. So it's like a black, but it's like an arm. It's like a classic, but it has more of a rustic, like kind of the same feel as your aesthetic.
See, I love an industrial. I could live in a loft with everything industrial tables. Mm-hmm. I love that industrial aesthetic. I love it.
It's really nice, like the utilitarian, like really, yeah, I like that a lot too.
I love it.
Anyways, so what did you have to
my blanket?
What did you have to go get in your office?
Oh, all our journaling stuff and the beautiful bag.
Yes, I have mine right here. So
let's talk knitting first.
Let's talk knitting. Yeah. What do you have?
I had the crochet blanket, and I just wanted to talk about magic knot balls. I'm loving the use of it. I am going upstairs and gathering a million more minis and winding them up. Love it. And okay, so I had that, and the next thing I have is the gorgeous, I don't know where the gray ball is, it's way over there somewhere. The gorgeous Tree Farm socks.
Mm-hmm. Tree Farm socks by Natalie Sheldon.
I am enjoying them so much. Every ball of yarn I have just fell on the floor. Honestly, I have pots and pans and soaking and drying, and this room is a hot mess.
We are on a time crunch.
I don't know how I work in this tiny space.
There's no time for organization right now.
It is. But anyways, I love these socks so much. So I'm using our steel toes. I'm using Silver Lining and Believe.
I'm obsessed.
I love them so much.
I'm obsessed.
And I went between Silver Lining and Pewter. I just ended up grabbing Silver Lining. But if anyone ends up wanting them and we're out of, or you like Pewter better, it's beautiful.
It's very similar. Yeah, it's very similar.
Very similar, a little warmer.
Mm-hmm.
Love these so much. This I did in probably 2 days, if that.
That's the fun thing about color work, is I feel like it just like moves along really quick.
Yes, I did start, and I wasn't using my trick with the highlighter tape.
Oh no.
So I kept being off, because the pattern is very busy, so you have to have a good line of where you're working.
Right.
And it was so ridiculous. I really thought, like, I can do this. No. And now they're flying.
Well, it looks beautiful now.
I love them.
I do too. And I feel like there are so many good color combinations that you could really like.
Because you can go from earthy crunchy to whimsical to what I love is a good solid, and I'll show this on my sweater too, and then a good multicolor. So that it's very like the color is very whimsical and flows. The main thing is try not to have any of the same color
within the speckled skein.
Yeah.
I agree. I love that. I think it's beautiful. I really want to knit a pair of her socks. I just need to have the brain space to do it, and then I'm going to go.
Yeah. And it's not that they're hard, but it's not vanilla like you're needing right now.
Which, that's the thing. If I didn't need it, which I really genuinely feel like I need vanilla sock knitting.
Oh, you need it. I need that crochet blanket.
Yeah, exactly.
Like last night, I almost was like, I'm just going to crochet on the blanket for a while.
I wouldn't have blamed you for a second. It's so soothing.
It is. My intention was to go to bed and read because I'm reading this great book. Don't ask me the title. I have no idea. And the minute we started chatting, I'm like,
panic. I know.
Like nothing was going to get read. It's like, oh my gosh. Ugh. And it's, you know what it is too? At nighttime makes it worse.
Definitely, because my body's already tired. So I'm like noticing all of the things, and it's like, ugh.
I kept trying to say, it's nighttime. You're going to wake up in the morning.
That's what I kept repeating to myself. Like, you're going to wake up tomorrow and everything is going to be normal and it's going to be fine.
And if it's not, it's going to be fine too.
I know, it's just the dang Lily piece. I don't want to like traumatize her. And I feel like if I wake her up and we rush to a hospital in the middle of the night, that's a little traumatizing.
They're so, I say this, I would feel exactly like you felt. But they're so durable. These little tiny bodies are so durable.
I know.
So flexible. And she would be very well taken care of.
Yes. That like
I would be on a plane there in a half hour.
Yeah. You'd find a private jet somewhere.
Oh, I just hate to tell you this, but it never gets easier.
I know. I'm slowly coming to terms with that.
I know. It's all right. It's all good.
All good.
So those are the socks I was working on.
I love those. They're beautiful. And I will link for anybody that is new. Well, one, welcome. I didn't even welcome you. What is wrong with me? And for anybody who isn't new, welcome back. Thank you for being so patient with this upload. But what I was going to say is all of our show notes and active links will be down below in the down bar. So if you guys want to check out that pattern or the yarn that's being used for it, just head on down there.
Yes, and I feel like I need to include this piece because it just makes me, when I think about it, like I will be taking over for a little while, probably the Instagram feed and the mail. Just know that I don't use a lot of words. I just don't. I usually get right to the point. Like in an email, it might be right to the point of, yep, I'll do that. Nope, no, can't. Like, so you will get a feel for there will be a little shift there. But that's about it.
Yeah.
And honestly, who knows with you, like what you'll be able to and not able to.
I mean, they sleep so much in the beginning. I say that, knock on wood, fingers crossed, God please. So I might be able to my laptop is so portable. I could have it right there. We'll see. We're just going to kind of play it by ear.
I just don't want anyone to think like, wow, Chelsea's gotten pretty short.
What is wrong with her?
This baby really ruined her. Honestly, I'm not like, that's how I interact on things like that. And I always have. And people will be like, yep, I knew it was you. It was like a one-word answer. I just feel like I always have other things I've got to do. So I just get right to the point and move on.
I think that's fine.
Yeah, be patient with me if that's the case.
Yeah, I think that's totally fine.
Okay.
So I'll just show you a couple pairs of socks. And I didn't mention when I was talking about this pair of socks that I'm knitting it with size US 1s, Knitter's Pride Zings for the DPNs and for the 9-inchers. And the yarn that I'm using is Fibernymph, and it is her S'mores Swirl colorway that I got at Needles Up Rhinebeck 2 or 3 years ago, 2 years ago maybe.
I am going to cake some of hers up for the next trip.
I wish I had more of her yarn. I wish I had more. Like I am considering ordering a couple skeins just to have because it's.
I should see what I have in there. I don't know how much I have, but I think I'm going to cake one of them up.
You absolutely should. It's a beautiful yarn to work with. Her dyeing, I think, is absolutely beautiful. Like look at the detail.
I'm in awe of self-stripers. I think I know how to do it, but I can't imagine how much time it takes.
I know.
I'm sure they have systems down and they've been doing it long enough that it's just like what we do, but
I kind of love that.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I kind of love not knowing because it makes knitting self-striping socks so magical.
Magical. Yeah. The learning curve for me would be very high, I think.
Probably for everyone.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the sock that I'm currently knitting on. And then I just finished this beautiful pair.
I love those so much.
I do too. So this yarn was gifted to me by Teresa, who is a patron and has been following along with us for years and years. And I love it. It is by Night Owl Fibers. It is the Dashing Through the Snow colorway. Again, I will link Night Owl Fibers shop down below. And if I can find the product, I will also link the product. And like I said, I knit these on 9-inch needles. I think I started them less than a week ago.
I think so.
I do a 1x1 rib. And I did, and actually this is something I wanted to talk about. When I first decided I was going to start diving into the 9-inch needles like more regularly, I decided to make it easier on myself. I was going to do the cuff, the heel, and the toe on DPNs. That way it was like the path of least resistance. I wasn't having to be super fiddly with those tiny little needles. And after a few pairs of socks, I can now at least do the cuff. I can at least do the cuff with the 9-inch needles. So I'm still slowly adjusting to being able to do the heel flap and the gusset. And really the only part of the heel that I'm not able to quite figure out, or I just haven't taken the time to figure out, is picking up the stitches along the heel flap. I can do the heel flap, I can turn the heel, but when it comes to actually picking up the stitches for the gusset, that's where I struggle. So that's where I start in on or no, I shouldn't say that. I do the heel flap with the DPNs, but I don't necessarily have to. I just do it so that the whole chunk is done on DPNs and then I go back.
The other thing you could do is go to 2 circulars.
I'm not a huge fan of that technique.
You're not. Even for that short space, so it would get you over the hump. But I get what you're saying. Like, I feel the same way, the path of least resistance. Like, I know I could do them all on the 9-inch, but yeah, I don't want to have to think.
Yeah, and I still find so much enjoyment in using DPNs plus the 9-inchers. Like, as long as I'm having a good time and I'm enjoying the process, who cares what I'm doing?
Exactly.
So anyway, but yes, I love these so much. I need to reach out to Teresa because I'm thinking I might gift these to my grandmother, and I don't want her to be offended or anything like that because I love them so much, but I know these colors, they're Graham's colors.
Oh, she's going to die.
And I owe her.
She loves her handmade socks, period. Mm-hmm. And then if you've made them for her, they're even more special.
Right. I know. I think it'll be really fun. I'm really excited to get her packaged together. But yeah, so because I had the intention of gifting these to my grandma when I was knitting them, I went up a needle size. So I went up to US 1.5s, but I did the same exact process as I was just talking about, DPNs and the 9-inchers, and they were just so joyful to work on. I could not put them down.
You're obsessed. I think it's so good for you mentally right now.
I do too. I think it's keeping me sane.
I do too.
It's giving me like this much sanity back.
Well, and it's something you can knit on and still be very engaged with Lily if you have to be. I don't know. It just works really well for you.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And then I'll just show my last pair of socks because then it'll just be whatever else we have time for. I cast on another pair of self-striping socks that, again, I think I'm going to gift to my grandma. And this is the Cozy Knitter. Oh, gosh.
Love them.
And it's her Joyful colorway, I believe. And it's one of her Christmas colorways. I've had it in my stash for a few years now. But like I said, I've just been plowing through my self-striping yarn. So I think this is my last game.
Oh my gosh, we'll have to replenish.
I know. But I was saying to you, Mom, when you were up here, when I cast these on, Cozy Knitter's skein is very plump fingering. So it's making it a little more challenging to use the 9-inchers because it takes up more space on the knee. Like, see how little?
Yeah.
extra space. So
but again, that's just a matter of adjustment, like the rhythm, getting it down a different one a little bit.
Totally. And like I can totally knit them comfortably. It's just not quite as like fluid for me yet. I'm still trying to decide if I want to move over to DPNs, if that would be more enjoyable, or if I should just stick with this and I'll just slowly get used to the thicker base.
They're beautiful.
So that's
making me want to go cast on all the socks.
I've been having so much fun.
I know. All right, so I have one more thing of knitting, which will lead into like our new line. And then I think we should talk a little about our journaling, and you have way more than I do, although tonight, if we're not in the car, I'm going to do a lot of mine. And then I have one piece of stitching that I love so much.
Do I know which one?
Yes, it's your favorite.
Okay, that's what I thought. I love it.
Okay, so we are introducing a new line of yarn, and it's a non-superwash. And before like as I was starting it, I thought I'm gonna dye some up and I'm gonna cast on a sweater.
Yeah, it was kind of as we were deciding on our bases. We kind of got a few test bases in, and we were like, well, let's just try knitting with it and see how it feels.
I am obsessed with this knit.
The stitch definition is beautiful, Mom.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah.
So this is our Peruvian wool, 100% Peruvian wool. So they're all non-superwash. And this is our worsted weight. And this is Grey Gardens and Whoville. And the sweater is, my pattern's missing. Koivua, right?
Koivua is what I think it's called, by Caitlin Hunter.
By Caitlin Hunter. I separated for the sleeves. I am beside myself excited to see this. I want to knit on this today too.
I know, because you're almost to the part where it'll be mindless. Yes, isn't the rest of the party?
No. So what happened? I was explaining this morning on my Periscope. Is this? So you did color work, then you did some purling, knitting, little design, and then you did color work, and then purling, knitting, little design. I don't know why I'm having a harder time reading my knitting. I don't know if it's because of the yarn. I don't know. But you know how sometimes you can just see the pattern and you don't need to look and blah, blah, blah. Well, I thought I had it down just by the numbers alone. Like I'll, like on the purl rows, I'll be like 325, 325, you know, like,
yeah,
I thought I had it, but what happened is it forms these triangles, and in the middle lined up are like 4 little purl bumps, and they were all off. So, which is no problem. It's probably totally my fault. So now, as I'm doing the final knit around, I'm dropping down in those spaces and making the purls all knits, so it looks like a stockinette, which is. Honestly, no one would even see the difference.
No.
At all. So once I finish this final round, I will then do the color work again, and then it's done. It's a very short sweater. I think I'm going to do more color work than I need to, or than it says.
You're going to extend the color work.
It does. That's the part. I think it says do these rows. It's like, say, row 2 through 10 4 times. So then I do it 6 times. You know what I mean? That kind of.
Oh, okay. I was thinking you were going to make the center, because it isn't all color work, is it? Isn't there a center section? Or is it all color work?
No, it's this and then color work again. This is the center that you're thinking.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
It's so much fun to knit. So much fun to knit.
It's coming out beautifully.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love her use of short rows in the back, and I do German short rows now, and I think I finally have mastered them.
Oh, you were talking about German short rows and how they're so easy.
They're so easy. I just always need to do a quick look back on how to do it. I'm so excited about this sweater. I'm so excited about the yarn. I love the yarn. I love woolly wool. I always have. And so what we have is, we have so many bases, really. We have oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I have a couple things that I knit out of the other base, the merino base.
Yes. So this is the Peruvian wool. Then we have the,
oh, you're back.
then we have the 100% merino. And then we have it in fingering, and we have the Peruvian and DK. It's all in the shop. And what I'm doing is I'm slowly building it up. So why don't you show those, and then I'll show the colorways we're at the very moment.
Okay. Oh, I should get my cowl too. So I knit these two. They're called, oh gosh, I don't remember actually. I'm going to put it on the screen. I think it's like Little Brothers Romper or something like that.
That sounds right.
By PetiteKnit. And I use the 100% merino non-superwash yarn. It is, I've been talking about it on my Patreon for quite a while because I knit these a while ago. It is like butter. You knit this and it feels like you're knitting with butter. It is so delicious. And then this is in our dry roast colorway. This is in our classic vanilla bean colorway. And then let me go get the cowl because the cowl is beautiful.
Okay. And I will say what I found about the Peruvian wool, like it's definitely a more earthy, crunchy. I don't want to use the word scratchy because it's not scratchy, but it's delicious. Once it's soaked, it is delicious. I love it. I love earthy, crunchy. I love it. I feel like I've gone back to my knitting roots with this. Oh, look at that.
So I knit these with the yarn I had left over from this. So this is the Owengowla Cowl by, are you frozen? You are.
Nope. Am I?
Oh, you're not. I thought you were. By Erin Clayton. And again, I'll link my Ravelry page. But it is so cozy. Let me put it on. And it was so fast. I knit this again, less than a week.
Oh, you knit that in like a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
It is so cozy.
I need to make one of those.
It's so quick. Like it's literally two skeins, but look at how much you have tons left over.
Like so you could make two. It's great. Not that, I mean, gift knitting is always a thing.
Yeah.
And you could swap the colors. You could do that too.
Very easily. I love it. I love how fitted it is. I think I have it upside down. I did a super stretchy bind off so that it would flare a little bit at the base of my neck, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it's especially on a day like today. Like I would want to wear that in the house.
Yeah. Sometimes I do. I just need to weave in the ends. I'm just being so lazy. But yeah, so I knit all of these things out of 2 skeins of our non-superwash 100% merino
worsted weight. Yes. And we don't have any of the merino and the DK weight because the person or the people we use don't carry that right now. And I'm not sure. I feel like we need to look into that a little deeper.
We can reach out.
But we have the Peruvian and DK. It's very pretty. It's very interesting dyeing the woolly wool. It takes dye very differently.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a learning curve for me, but I think I've got it down.
Everything that you've sent me and that I have seen pictures of looks beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. So I will show you what we will have in the shop as of this podcast, and then literally daily putting more in as I am doing more Colorworks. I just hate to sit on it because what we have already is like great for color work, great for sweaters, and there's enough there to make combos.
Totally.
So we have the silver lining, which now the light's coming in. I totally forgot about the light. Hold on. Where's the light coming? Oh, it's way over there. Darn it.
It looks
lining in Grey Gardens.
Yeah, looks good.
Then we have faded blue jeans.
I love it.
Tuxedo.
Oh my God.
Tuxedo. That's my heart.
Don't even get me started.
Espresso bean.
Love it.
And dry roast. And of course, hopefully I've put aside some vanilla bean too. Whoville.
Yeah, so for anybody that wants to knit the sweater that Mom's knitting, we have a handful of those
gauges. Yes. And honestly, it's almost easier at the beginning point is if you don't see what you want, you just email us and I dye it up for you, basically. It's a good way to get ahead because if it's a colorway, like today is going to be silver lining, in fingering, dry roast, espresso bean, believe, tuxedo. But if there's a colorway you want, it's a good way for me to get it into the rotation.
Yeah, so never hesitate to reach out because we can get it going. I mean, yes, the next couple will be up in the air, but yeah.
That's the thing. I mean, we've got it all set up to get it into the shop and, oh, this lighting's terrible now.
Can you, if you move, oh, that's not bad actually. If you move your computer, remember we did it so that if you swung it.
I think it's going this way, sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, then you get to see all of that. Just ignore, I'm super busy. Yeah. And the other thing we talked about is a lot of the fingering is drying. So it might be in there, and like you might be like, oh, that looks like worsted. It might be worsted just for the color, the picture, until I can swap it out for the fingering, just so you know it's there. It just has to dry.
Right.
Super excited about it. We've been talking about it and thinking about it for so long. So it's here.
Yeah, we're here, non-superwash. We're super excited. We have really, we have some different bands for them. So if you order, a Believe in our Cozy Toes and a Believe in our Flock Merino fingering, you're going to get the Flock Merino fingering with a white band, and then our standard bases in our great band.
I love that we were able to do that. Yeah, it'll all say it's all under the Flock line. So it'll say Flock DK and then the weight.
If you just navigate to our homepage, there'll be a button where you can just zoom right over to the whole collection.
Perfect.
But that I was so excited to get that out because ever since knitting with it, I'm like, people need to get their hands on this.
I know, and we've been talking about it and haven't been able to get it up. And so that's our goal before the baby. If there's any way that it gets messed up, just email us.
Yes, just shoot us an email. I'm doing my best to monitor them, although this week I have not because we had that little false alarm. But I'm going to be catching up hopefully over the next couple of days and getting back to any emails that have been sitting.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, you want to see what I'm stitching?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm obsessed. I say that I haven't worked on it now. I worked on it for one day. Sorry.
That's okay. Oh, you worked on that for one day?
Oh, no. I worked on it recently for one day.
Oh, it's still though. I feel like you've gotten so far.
Did I? It's not hard. It's just cross stitch and it's patterns so you can memorize them so you don't have to keep looking.
Yeah.
And I'm good at that, but oh my gosh. It's a Redwork sampler. It is called, I know we've talked about it before. It's a Bristol Orphanage sampler, Harriett salt. I just want to work on it.
It's gorgeous. I absolutely love the aesthetic of that piece.
I love it. I'm using silks. I bought a hank. I forgot what colorway it was. Look at me with my thread drops.
What are thread drops?
This.
Oh, the actual thing that's holding on to it. That's cool.
Yeah. So this is it. I just set it up one day in the living room with my, I literally have taken over this entire house. Sorry. It's just what I do. It's what I do.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I need stations.
You do.
In order to work on things, they have to be out. It's I believe it's a 40 count. 40 count. It's tough.
Oh, small.
But my eyes have been trained and you get in a rhythm. I can't believe I'm looking at this. Now I just want to go curl up with it.
This is the problem with podcasting. We say it every time. It's like you just want to do all the things.
I do. And I just don't have enough hours. And you know what's funny? I can't stitch at your house. No. It requires too much.
Yes.
Like I did bring my farmhouse sampler or tree farm sampler with me. It requires too much. And you know what? I've really gotten reliant on my light.
Mm-hmm.
Light.
And our lighting is not good for that.
No, not unless I was working on it during the day, which would never happen because it's just too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that.
I love that.
I know. Okay, I'm going to go shut off this burner and then we'll move on to our little journaling, which you have so much more than I do. But I love it. Okay, all the dry roast is done if you're wondering.
I was definitely wondering that.
I'm sure everyone was wondering. Yeah, turn off these burners. Okay, so let's talk about our Christmas presents.
Let's do it. Hang on, I'm at almost to the end of this now. I need to focus all of my attention on this.
Fine.
I am obsessed.
We can talk about my new addition to my traveler's journal.
Oh my God. I know. I think that might be a gift to myself.
You need one.
I think so.
I love it so much. I haven't done anything in here. I'm really off now because like just coming up for the beginning of the week is when I do a lot of this.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm not like you. I need complete, like my own space. I can't have anyone, like Dad came in and started talking to me one day when I was working on like the art journaling piece. And I was like, you just can't do that. He thought I was insane. I was like, you can't break my train of thought. Like I need to get all into my own world.
Yeah.
It's just like shopping. I can't really shop with people either. It's too distracting. Yep. So that's my newest addition.
I love, so she's talking about the pen clip because I don't think
clip. Yes, so it is actually a clip. I don't know why I was so perplexed by how is that staying there.
I had no idea either until you told me.
Isn't that ridiculous? It's a clip.
Yeah, no idea.
So I believe I got it from Wonder Pens or Jet Pens. It's in Toronto.
I can link both down below.
Yeah, I love it so much. Again, I'm so frustrated.
Because you want to do everything.
I do.
I know. I feel that every single day.
And I feel like once I get this line done, it'll clear up my brain and I'll have a more normal, because at the beginning of the year, which seems like it really was yesterday, but I felt like I was finding equal time to get my work done and then have time at night. And then it just all went to hell in a handbasket.
Sometimes that happens. Life gets messy.
I know, but now I'm getting it back.
I know your journaling is good. Well, should we show our bags? I keep forgetting I'm being mirrored. We got Sandy's totes.
Okay, let's talk about it. So for me, I knew you wanted one, like because we were trying to come up with like, what do you want for Christmas? We usually do one nice big gift and you guys pick it out. Mm-hmm. And when this came up, right as I was going to text you, you were like, that's what I would love for Christmas. And I impulsively bought myself one for Christmas from Dad. The only reason I say impulsively is I typically do not use a bag. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not a purse person. And I just couldn't decide, but I knew if you got one and I loved it, I'd be kicking myself. I am so beyond, we are over the moon excited about these bags. And when they came, I almost died and thought if I hadn't ordered one, I would be kicking myself, even though she did just put up another pre-order, which I think is done.
I think she might have just closed it, but if she didn't, I'll link it below.
Yes. So I got it. First of all, let's talk about how disappointed I was in the postal system. And I'm not a complainer. Like I just don't. Like mm-hmm. People are human, blah, blah, blah. And I won't complain about this to the postmaster, but I want to.
Right.
Because I was waiting and waiting. I knew it was coming. It said it was delivered to the front porch. And I'm like, great. They delivered it to the neighbor on the other side of the pit because we live in a pit and we always get the wrong mail. And I was on my way over to check because you have to go up our driveway and down theirs. There's no cut across. In the middle of the driveway is a box with 2 very expensive leather bags, just sitting in the middle of the driveway in the dark. I was so annoyed.
I would have been really annoyed.
So annoyed.
Well, and it was in the middle of the holiday season too. So it's like, it wasn't like it was just like, oh yeah, they tend to get like, not that he would know what you ever ordered anyway, but like, wouldn't you take extra care during the holiday season?
Well, don't be so lazy and drive down the driveway. There was no snow on the driveway.
Right. You guys have barely had any snow.
I know. So sorry, that was a little bit of a tangent, but these bags are worth every cent, if not more.
Well, and I mean, you know me, it takes me a very long time to decide if I want something or when I want something, or like, I don't just willy-nilly buy things. So the fact that Sandy posted these and within minutes I turned around and said I wanted one.
Me too.
That is a testament to how much trust and how amazing of a maker she is. I mean, we've had like, I've had this for a while, which is one of her.
You might as well just like,
I know.
My beautiful bag I leave in the car, my purse, like, I need another one.
I have a small one and a large one. So these are her, I think they're called like her classic pouches. Again, I'll link everything.
Large one.
But because we've had her leather products since she started making them, that there was
this leather even blows that leather away.
I know, it's beautiful.
It's probably the same leather. I love it. But can I tell you what I love the most?
Tell me.
This.
I know.
So it ties, so it cinches it in the middle. The design that creates is so gorgeous. But I'm also scared to death of like this getting ruined. Like, I don't want it to get wet.
Well, I think it's just being aware and being.
I love it. I love it. So this was our number one gift, and I am so happy. I'm telling you, and there's an inside D-ring and little for your phone or whatever.
You know what I keep in it?
Your sprocket.
My sprocket. My little HP printer.
You know what I think you should put your sprocket in that's even better?
What? One of her pouches?
Yes. I'm looking. Oh, it's in the other room.
The problem is I use her pouches for all my knitting stuff.
Everything. I know. I do too. I need 100 of them.
I know.
But
I might get another one soon for that.
So then I decided I wanted a Hobonichi desperately because of Sandy. Sorry.
And because you know me so well, you literally know the things I want before I even want them.
Well, I was really nervous, like, because again, these are not inexpensive, and I really wanted leather ones, but when buying, that's more than we would have normally done.
Yeah.
So then again, Sandy was so helpful. She said, Sue, the nylon ones are really nice. And I'm like, are they? She goes, yeah, I have one. I love it. And then you just get a plastic fancy cover to put over it.
I love it. I love it so much.
But I was like, for you, I was like, oh my gosh, because it is an investment, even with the nylon. And we have so it's the cousin size, which did you determine is that A5 or A6?
Oh,
see, I already forgot.
I wrote it down. Don't worry. Hang on. Pause.
Can't remember. It's so confusing.
A5. Look I wrote it right up here so I won't forget.
A5. And thank God, because I almost got us the A6s, which are smaller. And I like this size.
I like this size too.
Now, having said that, I want an A6 and I want it to be a leather one and I want it to be amazing and I'm going to buy one. But, oh my gosh. So the Techo.
I think it's pronounced
Techo. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I know.
I love this.
It's beautiful. And something I didn't realize, even while watching like Sandy's videos and other people's videos who have this planner, I didn't realize the type of paper it was, which I don't even know what it's called, to be perfectly honest with you.
I think it's the moleskin paper. It's very thin.
Is that what it's called though? I feel like it's called.
My word of the year.
I love that page.
It's not done. None of my pages are done.
Well, they never really are done.
I love this page.
I do too. I love that little illustration.
That Sandy sent it to me.
I love
it's
it.
one of the little Raven inks.
I know. I remember when she sent it to you.
And washi tape and stickers and collage and oh, I love it. Oh, yours are gorgeous.
Connect. So these little pictures are what prints out of that little printer that I just showed, the sprocket.
Love it. I've got a bunch to do on the next pages.
And then I love little tip-ins because I feel like they add such a fun little dynamic.
I totally agree. You've done a lot. You've been really good.
I've been obsessed. I did a page with Lily.
Love it.
I have two pages here that I need to go back and fill in, but I already know what I'm going to fill it in with. Then I had a self-care Sunday that I journaled with, and another little tip-ins here.
It. They're so much fun. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Another little tip-ins. Then I did one last
night. I love this one.
Isn't it so amazing? Seashore Sharon sent me the most beautiful envelope full of stickers and this beautiful little note. And then the note continues on a library card that I have saved in here too, that I'll use again. But look at this.
I love it. I love it.
And then Romy got his little haircut. So there's a picture of him. But yeah, it's been super, super fun. And washi tape, I love as a design piece.
I do too. I do too. I used it on this page. I just find, I love it. I love everything about this book. I'm so happy with it.
Me too.
I'm so happy with it.
I think I was saying to you, the thinner paper, I love it when you have design, like when you've journaled on both sides of them, because the texture of the page is so like robust and interesting and dynamic. Like the sound.
Wait till you keep going and it gets fatter and fatter and oh my gosh.
I can't wait for that. I already feel like every time I close it, I kind of look at the spaces where
Me too. Oh my gosh, it's going to be gigantic.
I love it.
I so wish, A, I lived closer to you.
I know.
B, that we had a journaling group, because I do think I could do that. Like what Sandy does with her little journaling group, like share components and work on a page, like that I could do. I love it so much.
I know, me too. Me too.
I love it so much. I just feel like it's so like meditative and
it's also like I feel like every time I finish a page, I feel very accomplished. I don't know what it is. Isn't it crazy?
Me too. It says 2 o'clock, which means it's 1 o'clock.
And it's really 10 of 1.
Right. 6 o'clock. The one thing I find, and I always forget this when I work like that, or when I do any kind of design work, or like when I used to design needlework or greeting cards, I am drained when I'm done.
Yes.
Drained.
Yep.
I feel, and when I worked on those pages, I was like, I am so exhausted. What is that?
But it's a good feeling because it takes so much creativity and like abstract thought to be able to put a layout together, I think, and like really consider all of the different materials that you have at your fingertips. And
the stress of, for me, which because I haven't practiced enough, my favorite new word of the year is the stress of, am I going to like it or not? Is it going to be, in my eyes, successful? So I have to let go of that piece and just let it be what it is. But that is going to take a lot of practice for me.
Definitely. Well, and even like, is it complete? Like, that's the thing that I struggle with is like, when do I stop? And every time I stop, I feel like, okay, that one's done. And then I look at it the next day and I'm like, yeah, but like I should be doing something with this space and that space and
make, for me, none of my pages are complete yet. But I think, again, using my word is just keep going. The next page you'll do, like, move on. So I had to train myself when I was designing to stop. Like, stop.
Yeah.
It's done. It's done. You can't do any more. But yeah, oh my gosh, it is so, I'm so glad I'm starting to understand that journaling world a little more just by the products. Although that new thing that Sandy bought, I have no idea what that is.
It makes stickers.
But I don't get it.
It's like our.
Okay.
It's like our sprocket, except it's like you pick out, and I don't know what it's called. I'll put it on the screen because I still have our thread. But so my understanding is like if you have a picture that you saved on the internet of a quote, you print it out, and it's instead of an actual photograph, it's just a sticker with that
quote. How do
you
print it onto that little thing? This is where my age comes through. Like I can't figure that piece out.
Just like the sprocket though, they're not that much smaller than the sprocket.
So you would just like take a picture of it, or you just.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, you can also print out pictures too. It just converts them into a black and white dynamic sticker. So did you see the picture? Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna need one.
I'm still on the debating side, but I really do like it. I feel like I want to play with one.
I know. I still need some more like, I'm so mad I can't find my good watercolors. I'm so mad about that. No, where are they?
I don't know. I haven't done any research, but I'm sure I can find us palettes.
Yeah. So I still need some more like things to work with, I think, like some markers and stuff. And again, I want to use my sprocket a little more and get used to that. Mm-hmm. I love the world of journaling.
Art journaling, travel journaling.
Everything.
I know. It's so fun. So that's been our newest like obsession.
Kind of is, and it's good. But what I love, again, I'll just go back to this bag for a minute because I love it so much, is I literally fill it up with all my journaling stuff.
That's exactly.
I think I'm going to go order one of those sticky bow things.
You'll have to let me know how it is.
I think I'm going to, because I need something to travel with.
Yeah.
Like when I come to you, I would love to have my supplies and be able to use them.
Because it'd be so fun. We could literally take over the table and you could have all of your supplies. I could have all of mine. We could cross. Oh no, you're frozen.
That I could do. Yeah. Yeah. So we're just on baby watch.
Just kind of maintaining until.
See, now it feels like you're not going to have her again for a long time.
I know.
It feels like a normal day.
I know. It does feel like a normal day. And maybe
I secretly would love for you to get through the weekend. I think that would allow us to get to good places of, okay, it's time for the baby.
Uh-huh.
Although I will tell you, we came home, rewashed all our clothes and repacked.
Well, and that was when my contractions started. So I know. We'll see. She's going to come in her own due time. As long as she is happy and healthy, that's all that matters. But
that's all that matters.
I know it's just tricky to run a business and also like be like, but there's this huge life event that's also sitting in the wings and you have no way of knowing when it's going to happen.
Well, and it's very hard because like even for me, like I was off Periscope for a week, which is fine. It's no big deal. But it's like you also lose the rhythm. Totally. Like I feel like that happens with you too. Like it is a real rhythm and it takes effort to get that momentum. And then once you lose it, it's like, I got to get that back again. And what if I get it back and I leave tomorrow? And
right.
It's hard.
Yeah. So that's what we're navigating right now, but we have lots of knitting and lots of crafting that's keeping us sane and even keeled. And yeah, I think that's everything. I mean, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it's good. I'm glad we were able to do this.
Me too. I know we've been meaning to get a podcast up for weeks now, and life kept getting in the way. So,
well, and it can be near impossible at times.
Yeah.
It can. Coordinating. And of course, little Lily, who's the most important.
I know. Who decided she's not sleeping again today. So she's just up there reading.
At least she's not calling for pee from her crib.
I know. Well, she might be. I have the volume off. So you never know.
Gosh.
All right, everyone.
All right. Well, I say we continue our day.
I agree. Thank you, everybody, so much for hanging in with us and for chatting for a little while. We hope you're as excited about this new line of yarn as we are.
I keep forgetting.
I'm so excited to get this podcast up because it's going to be the gun that goes off at the start. Like, I'm so excited. I hope you guys.
I totally agree. So yeah, so So again, we'll reiterate, the pictures might not look like the correct weight, but it's the correct color. And as we get the correct ones, we'll slide them in.
Exactly.
We just want to have things available, and don't hesitate for 1 second if there's a colorway that you would like in a particular base. And also, if I do end up going to Vermont like that, and you have ordered something, the only reason it's not being shipped out immediately is if I'm not here.
Right. Right. And we will do our best to try and notify everybody when that starts to happen. I mean, not in a I'm having the baby kind of way, just in a, we'll probably put like an out of office on or something like that.
Yes. And the thing is, even if we come up, we'll probably be back within 2 days. So it's just more normal shipping than my normal, like, oh, we got an order, I'll run down and fill it.
Right.
Dad, it drives Dad crazy. He's like, you're filling another order? It's like, yes, I get my exercise. It's really good for me. He's like, shouldn't you wait till you get more? It's like, nope, don't want to. Don't want to. No need.
How you work. All right, everybody. If you need any information about this podcast, just head on down to the down bar. You'll see all active links. If you enjoyed this podcast, head on down and give us a thumbs up or subscribe. We podcast semi-regularly, and we would love to see you back here. So, like we always say, needles up.
Needles up.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.